Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Professor Natalie Games, and not just any episode, but the final episode in the Ragnarok series, at least as far as the main storyline is concerned. I'm Natalie Van Dusen. I am a professor at the University of Alberta, and as you know, I have been reacting to God of War Ragnarok. We just finally reached that moment of Ragnarok, and it was really, really amazing. Well worth the wait. As you could tell from the last video, I was very surprised by Odin being the one to kill Thor. And I was really touched by the fact that it was Kratos that was finally able to get through to Thor. Somebody had asked me about this in the comments, and I've been reflecting on it. And I think that it is really touching that it was Kratos who was able to reach Thor and convince him to change, and that made his death even more tragic. And it really kind of gets to this idea of universal human experiences that really permeates this game, in addition to these themes from the mythology and these inspirations from the Nordic Middle Ages. We also have these really very relatable, universal human experiences of relationships between parents and their children, and parents who simply want to do better for their children. Speaking of Thor, I've forgotten a few times, but I was going to talk about the fact that he is left-handed. I was so caught up in the final fight where he ultimately died by his own father's hand that I didn't get a chance to talk about it, and I promise I hadn't forgotten. I think it's interesting that Thor would have been left-handed because in, I guess, pre-modern times and in the Middle Ages more specifically, there was an association of left-handedness with witchcraft and kind of, anti-Christian sentiment. Of course, we're in Norse mythology, so all of that's irrelevant anyway. But in Latin, the word for right is dexter, and the word for left is sinister. And sinister is not a coincidence. It is the kind of association with something evil. But left-handedness is not called sinister because of an association with evil. Rather, sinister derives from left-handedness and that association of left-handedness with evil. So I hope that makes sense. I have no idea whether the game developers had any of this in mind when making Thor left-handed, or whether that was simply meant to show that some people are right-handed and some people are left-handed, and Thor is one of those people. So we are here at the aftermath of the final battle, and I want to just dive right in. This is going to be a longer episode. And I want to note that after this one, I will be doing a side quest relating to King Rolf Kraki. And then after that, I will be doing Valhalla DLC. All right, without further ado, let's get back to it.
How did we all get here?
With the towers, your friend with the really big wolf, and our Valkyrie gift for transporting the worthy, we were able to bring the survivors here to Theburnedmanwalks Holt.
Are there many survivors?
More than we could have hoped for. We're tending the wounded here, but others have begun to set up camp further in the Holt.
Is there any chance Freya...
I'm afraid he was lost, Atreus.
Right. Thanks for patching me up.
Take it easy, you took quite a beating. She's still out there, you know. Not for long. Freya spoke about it earlier. Gna will meet her end. One way or another. I'd kill to see that fight.
Mom, stop it, I'm fine.
Hush.
Thrud,
Loki!
I'm so glad you're both alive. You have no idea, and... I'm sorry. Thor. He tried, you know? I'm sorry I couldn't do more. Nothing will fix what you're feeling. But I hope there's some comfort in knowing Odin's gone.
There absolutely is.
Loki, it was an honor to fight alongside a giant. Know that.
Will you stay here in Midgard?
For a bit. Then I've got something I need to find.
I'm working with Hildisvini to get the rest of the Asgardians to Vanaheim. To help rebuild.
Then I hope it can be a fresh start for them. And you. Oh, and Thrud. I hope you find what you're looking for. Good luck.
See ya, Loki.
Take care. Were either of your weapons damaged in the battle?
I think they're fine. Maybe a couple nicks here and there.
Well, we can have them looked at later.
We might not need to.
Nonsense. The shield maiden needs all her tools in working order. That Seagrin would probably chew you out if they were dull.
Oh, she would she?
I know I certainly would.
I also know you would.
Huh. Lugan made it out. Good for him.
Oh, and if you could get this wood over to Brana's tent, Loki! Hey! Glad to see the head injury didn't make you forget me. Did you have a head injury? Everything was a blur. Maybe that was someone else. Anyway, man, I'm really glad to see you.
I'm glad to see you too. Looks like you're keeping busy.
I'm just happy to help folks. We're on track to have bedrolls for everyone, and your friend's wolves have been helping out with hunting. We should have plenty to feed everyone.
No shit.
No shit? And hey, thank you for everything. We wouldn't even be here without you and your friends.
Yeah, of course. I just wish we could have gotten more people out.
Loki, you did good.
Thanks, Skilder. Take care, okay?
Hey, you know me.
Oh, there he is. And one for the kids, too. Skull!
Here, here. Skull. We wouldn't be here if it weren't for you. And Freya's sacrifice.
It's true.
Well, we were just swapping our own Freyr fables.
Right. So where was I? Oh. When we met, I was expecting this warrior, this master planner, a born leader. The legend came before the man. But the man himself was very different. He won me over, though. He was just so damn kind.
I think it helped that he was handsome.
This is true. And incredibly charming.
All right, stop. Y'all are gonna make me start crying all over again.
Sorry. Gotta go find my father.
Be safe, you. Y'all remember that time old Ski Bluff near caught on fire?
If I remember correctly, it was you who lit it on fire in the first place.
Well, not on purpose. How was I supposed to know it was so easily flammable?
It wasn't. You were showing off that enchanted bellows of yours and sparks flew everywhere.
That is what happened, isn't it? Oh, my.
I'm pleased to see you awake.
Freya,
It was his choice. I couldn't take that from him.
you saved us all. I'll never forget that.
The family I thought I had was taken from me piece by piece. But there's comfort in the family I've chosen. Your mother was right, you know. You grew into that bow after all. You are a formidable warrior, but even more than that, you have a good heart. Nothing you've endured has changed that. I'm so proud of the man you've become, Atreus.
Thank you. For everything. I should find my father.
You should.
Atreus! Oh, you gave us quite a scare there.
Glad to see you too, Mimir. Listen. I want to thank you.
Oh, what else did you expect from the smartest man alive?
It's not just because you're smart. You listened to me. Mentored me. And, well, you're basically another dad to me.
What?
No. I need you to hear it. I appreciate you so much.
I love you too, little brother.
See you, Mimir.
It's good to see you about, Atreus.
You too, Hildisvini.
I hear you're headed to Vanaheim with the Aesir.
That's correct.
Oh, never thought I'd see the day Vanir and Aesir existed in peace.
How optimistically presumptuous of you.
I suppose so.
We offered to take them in, but I don't expect things to be easy right away.
Well, something to work towards.
Civility is certainly a start.
And it's nice down here, huh? No loud noises. We're okay. You did so good today, boy. I'm so proud of you. Maybe later, we can find some treats.
Okay. My turn.
Who's that, huh? Yeah, we know him.
Maybe one of these days I'll surprise you.
Oh, you already have.
You were in good hands. Thank you for saving us.
I decided it would be better if I wrote the ending myself. You haven't told your father yet, have you?
Told him about what?
Come on. Giant visions? I already saw it. I get it.
Every part of me is telling me this is what I have to do. I just don't know how to say it.
Come with me. I got something I want to show you. Both of you.
I do not wish to intrude.
This is for you too.
Atreus, I am glad you are well.
I'm glad you are too. So, what was the end of the story?
What?
Before Ragnarok, you promised to finish it if I fell asleep.
When death arrived, he asked why the old man had called for him. Seeing death before him caused the old man to reconsider his request. After a moment, he asked that death help him lift the logs onto his back, so that he may continue on his journey.
He wasn't ready to die.
He wished to keep living.
There's a lot of smoke out there.
Seems when Asgard fell, pieces of it landed all over the realms. There might still be some Einherjar near them, but that's not what I brought you here to see.
Mother? My shrine in Jotunheim. She destroyed it. She didn't want us to know our fate.
We forged our own path because of her.
She went against her own people. Our people. To protect you. It don't all open.
I'm sorry.
Father, I need to talk to you about something. There are other giants out there, and I've got to find them. I think I know where to look, but they're my responsibility. I need to do this alone. I don't want to do it alone, but I need to. It's hard to explain.
Does it frighten you?
Yeah.
That is why you must do it.
Just pausing to say that I absolutely love that quote. That is something that I would like to write down and put on my wall because I think that that is just fantastic. So, nothing mythology related, just really like that quote.
Like you taught me. Yeah.
We survived today because of your choices. Who to trust, who to call friend. Son, you are ready.
Remember our promise.
Loki will go. Atreus. Atreus remains.
Take care of everyone.
you see in there, brother?
Well, one I had never imagined.
And what now?
There is much to do. Much to rebuild. Would you join me?
Aye.
We'll see to it. Together.
Freya, we should probably talk about Gná.
We don't need to talk about her. We just need to find her.
But Odin chose her as his new Valkyrie queen. A Vanir goddess, your friend.
Gná pledged loyalty to Asgard long ago, and our friendship ended soon after.
What happened?
I made a choice. One she couldn't accept. Kratos. She hates me. She will be a problem for us. Better we find her than she
Another
finds
one for
us.
the big boy himself. Skull!
Skull!
We can hold a few dozen per camp. Families will stay together, obviously.
Take care, Kratos.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And we'll bring all the supplies we can, although it won't be much.
Don't worry about it. Anyone who's able can head out for extra supplies. Aesir and Vanir.
Together.
General, Lady Freya, Mimir, my lady.
Shield maidens.
Blessed Thor, have you found the traitor Gná yet, dear Freya?
Not yet. Soon.
One final word. We wish to offer condolences.
What for?
For your family. Your brother.
We didn't mean to pry, sister.
It was a lifetime ago. Memories in ruins. I'm surprised there was anything left.
I just wish you had told me. I would have understood.
What's done is done, dear Mimir. I appreciate your kind words.
So I really like this notion of rebuilding that's happening after Ragnarok and the cooperation between the Aesir and the Vanir in this rebuilding of a new world. So in the mythology, in the account of the events after Ragnarok, there's this idea that after the world is basically consumed by fire and everything goes dark, that a new world arises. And that some of the gods, as well as a number of other creatures, including some humans, are going to come back in order to live in peace. So I will read first from the Seeress's prophecy what it says in terms of the events following Ragnarok. So in stanza 56, she sees, meaning the seeress, coming up a second time, earth from the ocean, eternally green. The waterfalls plunge, an eagle soars above them, over the mountain hunting fish. The Aesir find one another on Idavod, and they converse about the mighty Earthgirdler and Fimbultyr's ancient runes. There will be found again in the grass the wonderful golden checkers, those which they possessed in the bygone days. Without sowing, the fields will grow. All evil will be healed. Balder will come. Hod and Balder will settle down in Hrop's victory homesteads. The slaughter gods are well. Do you want to know more, and what? Then Hymir will choose a wooden slit for prophecy. The two brothers' sons build a settlement in the wide wind realm. Do you want to know more, and what? A hall she sees standing, fairer than the sun, thatched with gold at Gimli. There the noble fighting bands will dwell and enjoy the days of their lives in pleasure. And Snorri tells us much the same in his prose Edda. So this is how he describes what's going to happen with the rebirth of the world. The earth will shoot up from the sea, and it will be green and beautiful. Self-sown acres of crops will then grow. Vidar and Vali survive, as neither the flood nor Surt's fire destroyed them, and they will inhabit Idavud, the place where Asgard was earlier. To there will come Thor's sons, Moli and Magni, and they will have Mjolnir with them. Next, Balder and Hod will arrive from Hel. They will all sit together and talk among themselves, remembering mysteries and speaking of what had been, of the Midgard serpent and the Fenris wolf. And they will find in the grass the gold playing pieces which the Aesir had owned. And he goes on to say a little bit more about how in the place called Hoddmimir's Woods, which is, of course, the place that we are visiting here, and that is referred to as the kind of place that we were at the very start of this particular episode, two people will have hidden themselves from Sort's fire, called Leif, Life, and Leifrasir, Life Yearner. They have the morning dew for their food. From these will come so many descendants that the whole world will be inhabited. And he goes on to say more after that, but you kind of get the idea. There's going to be a new world that's going to arise after the world has been destroyed as a result of Ragnarok. So I really like this reinterpretation of the events after Ragnarok and what the rebirth of the world is going to look like. Of course, in this storyline, there is not kind of the complete destruction of the world that we see in the mythology, but we are sort of having this idea of there being a cycle of chaos and destruction and then order and rebirth that's occurring. And that's what they're talking about. That's what we're seeing Bigvir and also Thrud and Sif talking about, is how they're going to go on from here and create something new, how they're going to go to Vanaheim and unite the Aesir and the Vanir in order to build the world anew. So I like that.
Where to first?
We could take care of any lingering business in the realms.
Or investigate those pieces of Asgard.
Either way, we're with you, brother. Lunda also mentioned there's going to be a get-together to honor Brock's memory at Rab's Tavern in Svartalfheim. I'd like to go.
Mimir, there's something I wanted to ask you about. Hildisvini told me about your visit to secure Hel's army, but was reluctant to elaborate when it came to negotiating with Krasfelder.
Ah, yes. Well, I can see why he'd hold off on such a subject until he saw if we survived the battle.
Mimir, what exactly did you promise the large bird?
Oh, nothing too horrifying. It's just that she'd like to retire.
Retire? Hel's eagle wants to retire?
Indeed. And don't ask me what she expects to do with her free time. I assure you there is no reassuring answer.
Can she even do that? Not be Hel?
Apparently so. She just requires relief. Someone else to step in and become Hel, as it were.
Not exactly an office many would wish to occupy.
Aye. Terrible weather, infinite hours, and the possibility of unleashing terrible mischief on the realms if they're careless. Or worse, if they aren't completely trustworthy.
But if she were to leave without a replacement?
Complete chaos, yes.
Well, I'm sorry I asked.
Freya, something is on your mind. What is it?
Freyr's sword. I'm glad he got it back.
Odin stole it?
Not quite. It couldn't be stolen. it had to be given freely. Freyr had it forged in his younger days, imbued with its own motives and passion. For centuries, he swore he would only ever set it down in death or upon meeting the love of his life.
Okay, so I really like that aside and that explanation because, as I talked about before, Freyr is said to have given up his sword in order to convince slash threaten the giantess Gerður to marry him. So I wouldn't really say it's this wonderful romantic story, and there are some major issues of consent in this myth and coercion that occur in terms of how they are able to convince Gerður to come back and to marry Freyr, which they are ultimately successful in doing. I'm talking about Skirnir, the servant acting on Freyr's behalf here. And they do that by offering Freyr's sword, among a lot of other things, including a number of other threats. But all that aside, it is kind of done within the context of Freyr falling in love with this giantess. So in love that he is completely lovesick and unable to get out of his bed. So this is consistent in that way.
Both he and the sword were romantics, you see.
Your master is no more. Be at peace.
It's strange. There are still signs of the world serpent all over the lake. But we saw him disappear at Ragnarok.
That could only mean the legend was true all along. That blow from Thor sent Jormungandr straight back in time. A younger Jormi, fresh from Jotunheim, would grow into the serpent we know.
When we first met the snake, you said that he found Atreus familiar. Perhaps they met in Jotunheim.
Perhaps so, brother. We'll have to ask the lad for that story when we next see him.
What is wrong?
No, nothing. It's just, don't know if you've heard, but we're gonna say goodbye to Brock in Svartalfheim.
A funeral?
Yeah. We're meeting at Rab's Tavern in Nidavellir.
We will be there.
When Jormungandr attacked Thor in Asgard, it seemed personal somehow. But there's no way they could have met before that, is there?
I've been pondering that, and I have a theory. We know the lad spent his time in Jotunheim learning soul magic. Perhaps the serpent figured in.
You mean Atreus placed some other giant soul into him? Someone who already hated Thor to begin with?
Exactly! Though that doesn't narrow it down much, I grant you. I wonder if Yorm even remembers after all this time who he once was. Wait a bloody moment. Is that...
Thor's hammer. And his daughter.
I'll make you proud, Dad.
Well, good for her.
That's awesome.
We're heading back to Charlie?
Yes.
He's not going to be very happy with me.
No.
Charlie. I'm sorry, I have no excuse for neglecting you. I will do my best to earn it. Is someone inside?
Yes.
Warming up already, isn't it?
Birger,
Hello.
what are you doing here?
Keeping warm. Both of us. It is your home if you wish me to leave.
No. It's good that he has someone.
Will you stay?
There is still much to be done.
Then we will wait. And when it is time to rest, I will keep the hearth warm.
Thank you, Birger. Do you hear that? Someone's crying.
Sinmara.
Ah, Surtur's love. Should we try to tell her what happened?
She knows.
Feels half crazy to say it, but I got a good feeling about that Thrud girl. Never minding what family she came from.
I quite agree. She's an impressive young woman.
I thought you might. Why, I ain't never seen anyone quite so awestruck as when she laid eyes on you back at the hole. Like meeting her idol.
She was apparently quite eager to learn from all the Valkyries. Now that she has Mjolnir, I expect her next stop will be to begin training with Sigrun.
I think Brock and Sindri would be happy knowing that hammer's finally with someone worthy to wield it. And a future Valkyrie, no less.
Okay, so we're at the Raven Tree, and I was so focused the last time that we encountered it on Pesta and on talking about the Black Death and all the folktales surrounding that, that I completely missed the child sacrifice part. And the wonderful Cleansed in Fire, whose gameplay we're watching here, brought this up. So the idea of child sacrifice, child exposure, infant exposure was something that was widely practiced in the Nordic countries during the pre-Christian period. And we know this because when Christianity was adopted, at least in Iceland, which is the area I know most about, I don't know the laws from the other Scandinavian countries nearly as well, there was a law that was decreed regarding the exposure of infants. In fact, that was one of the first practices to be abolished after the coming of Christianity. And so we know that this was done. We also know that this was done because there are accounts of fathers having to accept the child that was presented to them upon its birth. And if that child was not accepted for whatever reason, perhaps there was some perceived deformity, or he didn't think that the child looked like him and therefore wasn't his own, that child would then be utborn, or exposed. So exactly as this name implies, it would be carried out, utborn, which is what it means, out, carried, literally carried out into the outdoors and left to the elements, essentially. So an extremely cruel practice, and one that was abolished when Christianity came, so we know it was practiced before. So yeah, of course, child sacrifice being a really critical component of the Raven Keeper and the Raven Tree. So thanks for bringing that up and asking me to talk more about it. And I'm glad that I had an opportunity to do so in a somewhat natural way here.
Aha! Another fallen piece of Asgard. Something seems a bit different about this one.
Different?
Dunno. I've just a funny feeling.
Your analytical mind knows too well.
Hang on a minute. Is this a prison?
It would seem so.
Let's continue. Might be something useful inside.
Freya! I can't believe it.
Wait, that can't be. Lord Tyr.
Is this an illusion?
No, brother. No, I think it's the real deal.
Mimir? Is that you, old friend?
In all the important ways, aye.
There was such a commotion. If Odin learns what you've done...
Odin is dead.
The realms are at last free of him. You're safe.
Odin's dead.
And Asgard fallen.
So the reign of the Aesir is truly over. That's quite a lot to take in. And you are?
His name is Kratos.
Kratos? I know that name.
Come. You need real shelter. Food.
No. No, what I need most now, I think, is to reflect on what you've told me. I need space, if you would grant me that.
Very well. Our home is in the realm between realms for the moment. You can find us there when you're ready.
Kratos. I know you from somewhere. I'm sure it will come back to me.
Until then.
Okay, I trust absolutely nothing. And so, like, the fact that they just come up and they're like, oh yeah, Tyr, it's you, it's the real you. After everything, I'm a little suspicious, but I think it's because I've been burned before with regard to Tyr specifically. I mean, I hope it's really him. I assume it is.
You believe that was truly him?
It's hard to trust anything after what we've been through. But with Odin gone, I've no cause to doubt it.
Our paths will cross again. Of that I'm sure.
Well, now we know what this prison's for. This is where Odin stashed those he would camouflage himself as.
Makes sense. If you're going to imitate someone, you wouldn't want them walking around.
Why not kill them?
You must leave them alive in order to assume their form.
Aye. Odin likely wanted Tyr dead for a multitude of reasons. But he knew Tyr would be more useful alive.
Your god of war has truly returned. What now?
He'll want to stretch his legs, I imagine. Imprisonment stokes wanderlust. Not that I need to remind any of us of that. Ah, if I had a stomach, it'd be twisting right now.
Odin is gone. There's no remaining threat.
No, it's from excitement. Hardly any non-giants have gotten the great privilege of visiting the realm of the Jotnar.
It's truly an honor to be among a very select few. So this is Jotunheim.
As beautiful as the stories. And then some.
Company's here, Fen.
Angerboda.
Kratos, Mimir, Freya. It's good to see you.
I wish to thank you for creating a path out of Asgard for us.
Aye, a true pleasure to meet the lassie who saved our skins.
Indeed. Your giant stuff magic is truly a marvel.
We were so glad we got there in time. Freya, your brother's sacrifice won't be forgotten.
It won't.
I will say, you've made quite the impression on our Atreus' heart.
Mimir.
Oh, like you weren't thinking it, brother.
Ahem. You're a cherished ally, Angerboda. I hope we cross paths again.
I imagine we will. There's lots to do, and I'm just getting started.
Good boy.
Kratos, the last time you were here was because of Faye, right?
You saw this in prophecy.
Your son told me. It's a beautiful place to rest.
It is what she wished. Angerboda, you are the last giant left in Jotunheim.
No, actually. My grandmother, Gryla. She's, not really one for visitors, but she's still here. She's helping me forage at the moment.
After all you've done, lass, she must be so proud to have a granddaughter such as yourself.
She might be. Someday. I don't know quite yet, but I think it's a start.
To Vanaheim, then.
Sounded like Lady Sif managed to convince the old boar to shelter the Aesir refugees.
It was his idea.
Oh?
To foster peace among the Vanir and Aesir.
That's brilliant. Shifty bastard must be trying to prove he can out-diplomat me.
At least he's not convincing her to marry someone, like some other diplomats would.
A deservedly low blow, Your Majesty.
Anytime.
Now, Kratos, Freya, welcome back. Mimir.
Lady Sif. Freya. It speaks volumes seeing you here in person. The first of the Aesir to visit us in peace.
Really, Your Majesty?
It's the capacity of the Vanir's forgiveness that speaks volumes.
We know Asgard was more than Odin and his Einherjar. If they'll help us rebuild, they're more than welcome to stay.
Aesir and Vanir living together. I never thought it possible.
I imagine a severe lack of options for the Aesir helped ease things along.
Oh, Mimir. It has truly been a pleasure not listening to your prattling commentary for the last 100 winters.
Well, excuse me, milady.
100 winters of Mimir bleating at court? I think I'd rather be exiled.
Indeed. Oh, the stories I have.
Really? Do tell.
Well, everything appears to be in order here, diplomacy administered, and all's well. Let's leave these two to their planning, shall we?
Back to it then. Where can we set up the farmsteads and the granaries?
We don't do that kind of thing here. This realm provides us what we need.
What if the winter is harsh, or if the food spoils?
Then we hunger, and we learn. Perhaps had you not burned Freya for trying to teach you.
I did not light that fire. But I was there to witness. Even in death, Odin's legacy of poor leadership endures.
Working together, we can break that cycle faster than apart.
You saved them, Freya.
I did nothing.
No. I did nothing. Scratching tally marks into a cell while the world ended around me. You returned to your people. You endured their hatred. You helped them become more.
Freyr and his soldiers...
They survived. They endured. But there's a reason the tide turned when the goddess Freya returned home. Your love of this place. I can feel it. Smell it in the breeze. Anyone can. That love makes you strong. Makes your people strong. It's why you won.
Thank you.
Hell of a job you did at Ragnarok, General. Wish I could have been there to see you and Sindri take down Thor and Odin.
That is not what happened.
Yeah, maybe not, but it's the story I like best. Important thing is, Odin's paid in full for what he did to Brock. I know it doesn't fix what's broke, but it ain't nothing.
Hello, Lunda.
Hey, goddess. About your brother, I never got the chance to tell you. I know moments like this you're supposed to say sorry and whatnot, but I always known that pretty man had greatness in him. That he'd do something amazing one day, and I'm just... You know, I'm proud that now the Nine Realms know it too.
I thank you.
Anytime, ma'am.
Lunda.
Hi there. I wanted to ask, do you want me to stop talking about your muscles and how you look and stuff? Because it seems like it's making you all wiggly, like in a bad way.
It did, but no longer.
Oh, okay. So I should stop? Sounds like I should stop.
No.
Oh, all right, handsome. You beefcake?
Freya, you spoke of your brother's sword. How did Odin acquire it?
I'll answer this one. Odin, disguised himself as the most beautiful person Freya had ever seen.
This separated Freya from his sword.
Oh, with embarrassing speed.
I am glad Freya ultimately retrieved it.
Me too. My little fool.
Freya, when Hildisvini went to Helheim, how did he not freeze to death?
A perk of the Jotha.
The boar-shifting warriors of Vanaheim, as wise in statecraft as they are deadly on the battlefield.
So they may shift into whatever form they like.
Sure, so long as the only two shapes they'd like to shift into are human and boar.
Freyr. He forged a piece.
Of a sort.
Wish I could have seen that.
I'm sure he wished the same.
If you'll... excuse me. I wish to pay my respects to your brother. In my own way.
Of course. Let's go, Kratos.
Brother, I've heard my share of stories about your homeland, but I've also heard that you once fought in a tournament.
I fought in many contests.
But this particular one, I heard you did battle with beasts, scoundrels, princesses, the undead, automatons, and history's greatest musician. That's not true, is it?
I would not speak of this.
Fair enough, brother.
judge me. You, whose cowardice has left entire realms in ruin.
Sister, I know the hate that burns you from within. I have felt those flames, known the comfort of their warmth. I wronged you. And I cannot change that. Never apologize enough for it. But the hatred, vengeance, you have to let it go.
Finish it.
Yes, sister.
Freya, I'm sorry it came to that.
I gave her what she wanted. But thank you.
So then, how's it feel being Queen of the Valkyries once more?
Queen. Why? There are no Valkyries left.
The Shield Maidens. Will you not lead them? Or rebuild?
Maybe. It would be the first time in a while I have something truly mine. We'll see.
Profane alternate lyrics to my ballads. Absolutely disgusting. But now I wish I could remember some of them.
The paperwork that man created for me. I had to build a chest just for his violations. A big one.
I taught him 20 different ways to cold forge a bolster. Once, he taught me a slightly easier method of wire pulling, and from that day on called me his apprentice.
A true asshole he was. Gods, I'm gonna miss him.
Hi! Y'all made it. Just about to send him off.
I have met many on my travels. You are one of the few I would call friend.
I always thought you were one of the dumbest creatures I'd ever met. Didn't expect you to be the bravest, too.
This world is a darker place for your leaving it.
We're taking him to the Sphered Sands. It's, in the wetlands near the ferry. We'll wait for you there.
Damn it.
What is wrong?
I should have changed. Sewn some mourning garb. We're not dressed properly.
We're fine. The dwarves don't typically require formal wear at funerals.
Brock certainly would not.
Perhaps.
Still, now you've got me thinking of what I might look like with some jewelry around my neck stump. Maybe some gold woven into my beard. That'd be quite fetching, eh?
Thanks for trying.
There they are, brother.
Oh, come on, surely he'll be along. It's his brother.
Let's hope so. Loss can do things to a man. You made it. We can begin.
I love you.
Sindri. Blackpuss.
A hole.
What?
Gets bigger the more you take away.
I don't know if there's anything beyond the light. Afterlives after afterlives or whatever you. But if there is, I imagine he's causing one crazy ruckus there.
I wrote that dirge for him.
What's it called?
Something profane.
He wouldn't have it any other way.
Forgive Sindri. He's just, I mean, you know.
Okay, so that was exactly the ending that I think this game needed, and I absolutely loved it. And as I was watching this, what really occurred to me was how the death of Brock and his funeral really parallels what the death of Balder and Balder's funeral represent in the original mythology, because it is the death of Balder that sets into motion Ragnarok. And Balder is the most beloved of the gods, and of course, very much unlike the Balder that we encounter in God of War 2018. And originally, of course, we are meant to think that it is the death of Balder in God of War 2018 that sets into motion Ragnarok. But I think that kind of the idea of the sacrifice of this very beloved character that we have in the mythology is replaced in some ways by the death of Brock. And I'm kind of really working out the parallels in my head kind of as I go. So, and I'm also just, reliving the death of Brock as I've gone through that funeral and shed a few tears when Sindri says, "I love you, Brock." But I think that in some ways, the death of Brock in this game functions in the way that the death of Balder does in the mythology and is a further catalyst for the events to come. And it's really what sort of propels everyone into action. It is what propels Sindri into deciding that he is going to come and help out, and to basically everyone dispersing, going their separate ways in order to rally the forces to take Odin down once and for all, because he has done the unforgivable when he kills Brock. So I really think that that's maybe what's going on here. And another reason I think that is because of Brock's funeral. So the way that Baldur's funeral is described in the mythology and in Snorri's Prose Edda specifically is that he is indeed put into a ship, and that ship is then sent out into the water and that it catches fire. So that obviously has some parallels here, and I very much like what's happening. And I think that probably that was intentional. Maybe this is an interpretation on my part, but I think it works. I think it works really well. And I think in a lot of ways, the death of Brock in this game as being the thing that really brings about the events of Ragnarok is something that fits a lot better than the death of Balder in this game, because Balder was not a beloved character. He was not the character in the mythology who everyone loved and wanted to protect. Brock really took on that role. And so I really like what's happening here in that way. And if I'm right, and this is what they had in mind, I think that that's really beautiful. Even if it's not what they had in mind, it's really beautiful that they left it open for this type of interpretation. So let me know what you think about that. And I still have some other side quests to do. I have the side quest with King Rolf Kraki, where I'm going to talk about that saga and that particular character and its relationship to Norse mythology. And then I will move on to Valhalla DLC. So thanks for hanging in there. I know this was a long one, but I hope that just like me, you found it very much well worth it in saying our final goodbyes to Brock. So thank you so much, and we will see you on the next one.